Aloha, Sandra here. It's been raining a lot the past actually few weeks, so I am teaching this class indoors so that I can do it without getting wet. And so let me know if this location works for you. There's also a lot going on in the world and a lot of people feeling a lot of stress and tension. So today I'm going to share with you a gentle practice that is good for everyone, but it's particularly good if you have tension in your lower back. So for the class, we need a strap. If you have a half roller, that would be great. It's not necessary, but some people prefer it over using a block for some of the things, or one of the things we're going to be doing lying down. You could also use kind of a rubber soft ball to lie down on your back. You'll understand when we get there. But a block works for most people. All right, so we're going to start lying down, a little bit of a diagnostic and a little bit of just taking the time to go in Shavasana. So go ahead and lie down on your back. And let yourself have the exhalation of Shavasana. If this brings any discomfort to your back at all, please bend your knees. If your head is tilted backwards, or you feel you want a little bit of support so you don't have a rib flare, you can take something under your head, which I'll do a little bit today. And then just take a moment, fairly long moment, to let your breath start with the exhalation. Let the exhalation release through your mouth a few times. And then close your mouth, let the breath flow through your nose. Let your jaw soften. Let your forehead soften. Just one layer. And then bring a little movement to your fingers, to your toes, just a little bit. Bring your hands on your thighs and gently roll your thighs towards a neutral. So you roll them towards each other so your toes point up towards the ceiling if your legs are extended, and bend your knees. And then take your legs as wide as your mat. I've been told by many people that this next thing we're going to do brings a lot of great relief to the lower back. And what we're going to do is what I call the Elvis twist, some people call windshield wipers. We're going to start doing it very slowly. So we're going to very slowly bring your left knee in the direction of your right foot. Let the right knee go a little out to the side. On the inhalation, come up. And on the exhalation, go the other direction. So we're going very slow and very small to start with. Inhale the leg up. Exhale to the other side. Please go at your own pace. You can take your arms out to the side like a cactus or reach them wide. And if this is new to you, just focus on going fairly slow so that the movement is of the thigh bone, which is going to move the pelvis, which will move the spine. Those of you who have been doing this for a while or feel really comfortable with the movement, add on an awareness of where you initiate the movement from, so that when you take your legs to the right, initiate from the left leg, the left thigh, actually specifically the left thigh, the top of the left thigh. When you take the knees to the left, initiate from the top of the right thigh. So what you're actually doing is you're initiating from the spot where the thigh bone comes into the pelvis. So as high up in the thigh as you can feel and find. And then as you continue to go side to side, you can begin to make the movements a little bit bigger. I caught myself not moving with my breath. You may find you do the same thing, especially if we're going a little too fast. And then as the movements become bigger, they'll go further up your spine. Allow that to happen. And you may feel that at some point when the lower body goes one direction, your head begins to turn the other. If you don't feel that, you might initiate a little bit of movement of turning the head the opposite way from your knees. Sometimes when you do this, I don't know if you heard, but I just heard my stomach gurgle, because it helps with digestion, gets things moving. When we don't move, the insides don't move as much either, and movement is really helpful for digestion, keeping things flowing. And then when you get over to the right side the next time, go ahead and just hold there for a little bit. Take a few nice full breaths. Head's turning to the left, legs turning to the right. And then use your right leg to lift up and take your knees over to the left. And then bring your knees back up. Okay, so now let's do one of my new favorite things to do. This is where you might want the half roller. I find this really nice for helping relieve tension in the back and the lower belly. So again, you might want something under your head, but most importantly, take either a block or the half roller and place it under your pelvis in such a way that your sacrum tilts in the direction of your head. When I do this, I feel a sense of release right beneath my navel, which I really like. Move everything else out of the way. And we're just going to exhale here. And this is again an option. You can choose to keep your knees bent or extend your legs. If you do extend your legs, let them just let go. So generally, sometimes when in yoga practice we have the legs active, but right now I'd like you to have them releasing. And those of you, if you're looking right now, I'm just going to show you the difference. You can see what it looks if I'm lying on the roller. And I'll just show you if you want to see how it looks maybe a little different in the pelvis. If I'm lying on the block, I place the block so my pelvis is tilting. And then the thighs come out. So it's a little more stable, but sometimes the square shape doesn't allow for as much leeway. Actually, today I feel I like the block better. Other people may like the roller better. I'm going to stay here on the block for a little bit. Just take your time with your breath. Let your jaw soften. And if you have more time, you may just choose to stay here for another 5-10 minutes if it feels good. You can pause the video, or we can move on. I'm going to move on, even though maybe later I'll stay here for longer too. To come out of this, again, roll your thighs so they're parallel towards each other. That just minimizes some of the stress that's going to be in the sacrum as you bend your knees. And then release the block and just take a moment to let yourself feel. Breathe. And then take your feet as wide as the mat again. And let's go back to the Elvis, side to side. Take the knees to the right. Inhale up and over to the left. Again, notice what your head is doing. Does it feel good to move opposite the legs? If not, don't do it, of course. But if it just doesn't feel like, if it doesn't happen automatically, but it actually feels good, go ahead and encourage that action. As much as possible, though, keep your rib cage on the ground. So you don't want to, this is not a roll. We're not rolling around. That'll be for another day. All right, one more time on each side. All right, and then find your strap. Find the strap. Again, you might want something under your head. And keep your left knee bent, bend your right knee into your chest, take the strap up. Just open up the back of the leg, hold it stable for a moment. You reach through the heel. And then circle the leg a little one direction. And then circle it a little the opposite direction. Come back to center, holding your leg. Take both ends of your strap into your right hand. Externally rotate the leg. And again, a few circles one direction. The other direction. Of course, if any of this creates tension in your inner thigh, make the rotation a little less. Come back through center, a little internal rotation. And then circle the leg. And switch directions. And then once again, hold the leg, foot into strap, strap into foot, heel up towards the ceiling. Breathe. And then bend your right knee and place the Legs next to each other, notice how they feel next to each other. And second side, left knee into the chest. Take the leg up. Foot into strap, strap into foot. Reach the heel up. And then circle one direction. And then switch directions. You can hold on with one hand or two when you externally rotate the leg, and then circle one direction, really encouraging the back of the leg to stay nice and long. And circle the other direction. And then internally rotate the leg, again, one direction. And the other direction. And back to center. Hold for a little bit. Foot into strap, strap into the foot. Gently spread your toes as you reach the heel up towards the ceiling. Notice if there's any area here where you might not be straightening. I caught myself a little bit not having the length here. Okay. And then bend the left knee, release. Go ahead, take the strap between your thumb and forefingers and reach your arms overhead. Nice reach and stretch. Again, be careful of the lower ribs, not popping up into the air. Take your arms back up, and now we're going to do the legs again, but you can choose to have the opposite leg straight. So Supta Padangustasana, this time choose with the opposite leg straight. If you're feel you don't have a lot of mobility in your hamstrings, keep the opposite knee bent. Otherwise, if this is a pose you're very familiar with and you have practiced and you can get to a right angle with the right leg or more, go ahead and extend the left leg on the ground. So classic Supta Padangustasana. You may notice how it's a little different than when the knee was bent. I'd say a bigger hello to your hamstrings. And explore a little, move the leg around. And then release, bend the knee. Feel the legs next to each other. Notice how maybe even just a little bit makes a big difference. Second side, left knee in towards the chest, strap around the foot, extend your leg. Breathe. Foot into strap, strap into foot. And then release. Notice I'm taking a lot of long exhalations. All right, let's return one more time to the Elvis twist. So bend your knees, take your feet as wide as the mat, and let's take the knees side to side. And then come back to neutral. Bring your arms a little closer to your side. It's time to just receive Shavasana. Now again, you can choose to take your heels wider than your toes, let your knees come together, and stay here. Or extend your legs for Shavasana. And I encourage everyone, actually, before you come into Shavasana, just extend your legs and notice if your body feels a little different than at the beginning of the practice. And just take note if any of those movements created a shift for you. And then find a position for Shavasana, either knees bent, heels wider than your toes, legs straight out. If there's another position you want, you can do that for this practice. Those are my two go-tos. Most importantly, position yourself so you feel you could stay here for a while. Close your eyes. Let your jaw soften one layer. Let your breath flow. And let the flow of your breath guide you to Shavasana, to relaxation. And then, slowly and gently, bring your awareness back to your body, back to your breath. Bring a little movement to your fingers, bring a little movement to your toes. Reach a little through your arms, reach a little through your legs. Bend one knee at a time. Roll over to your side. Make your way up to sitting. Let's bring our palms together over our hearts. And as we may experience times of uncertainty, instability, may we find ways to take the time to come home into our bodies. And no matter how our bodies are feeling at the moment, may we find and experience some of the great ways that our bodies allow us to be present in the world, focusing on the ways they work well for us so that we can feel a sense of home, connection with ourselves, and know that that is available when the world around us is uncertain. Namaste. Right. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if this location works for you. I want to say just a little bit of what I said at the end is sometimes we may also want to disconnect from our bodies, and I understand that. I personally find that when I feel bad and I feel scared and I feel disconnected or worried, that when I connect with my body, even in a gentle practice like this, I feel a lot better. But I know there are instances where our bodies are causing us so much pain and harm that might not be the right path. So I encourage you to find, of course, what's best for you, and hope I can be helpful in that endeavor. Thanks for watching. Look forward to sharing more. Namaste and aloha.